Good morning. Happy Saturday. We are in the parking lot that I usually park my car in when I go use the train or the subway. And today we're going to head out to Ginza. Let's go. Look at the line for Onitsuka hikers. Next on my agenda was a visit to the Hakuhinkan Toy Park in Ginza. This toy store is 126 years old. It was founded in 1899 and has 4 floors of around 200,000 items. I also heard that if you're looking for figurines such as the Smiskis, did I say that right? Sonny Angels, or even Labubu figurines, this is the place to go. Tourists can bring their passport for duty-free service if you buy over 5,000 yen worth of merchandise. If you like slot car racing, they have a little racing car circuit. They also have a baby room, restaurants, and a theater. Children and adults will enjoy looking through all the different floors. And sure enough, they had my Smiskis. No crowds, it was really organized, and they had so many different varieties of figurines, including the Labubu Coca-Cola ones that I got a few weeks ago, and some other ones I had never seen. Like this Finding Mokoko and Game Monsters. I don't know. We'll check them out. I did see a girl buying a bunch of Sonny Angels, but I don't know where they were, so they must have been on a different floor or in a different section. It's okay. I was perfectly happy with this selection here. I also overheard them telling a lady that they have a lot of merchandise in stock, but it's not displayed. So this one woman was buying all those Coca-Cola Labubu figurines, and as soon as that box was empty, they came out and they just brought out another one. I've put the link to this toy store in the description box, so be sure and check this place out. Next, take a look at these Nissan cars. It was in their showcase, but I actually came here for the cafe. On the second floor, they have a little cafe that does latte art. You can actually choose the picture that you would like on your latte. So I decided to take a little break and enjoy the view of Ginza below. Back in the parking lot. The rain is just starting. As it said in my forecast, it said the rain would probably start around 3 o'clock, and it's about 3:25. Just wanted to share something that happened on the train. It was actually on the way when I was going to Ginza. Touched my heart because, you know, as somebody that's Japanese American, if I don't speak or if I don't say anything, nobody knows that I'm also from the U.S., that I can speak and understand English, because I'm sitting there on the train and there's a bunch of tourists around, so when they're talking, I could totally eavesdrop on all their conversations. It was a big group of maybe about, 7 or 8 people, 7 or 8 adults. We were on the Ginza Line, and by the way, if just by some chance they happened to watch my video and hear me talking about this, I just want to say I was really, really touched by our conversation, which was a very just out of the blue random conversation. Okay, so the train, so I was on the Ginza Line going towards Ginza. I was going to get off at Ginza Station, but when they were talking, they were getting off at the last stop, which would take them all the way into Asakusa. I assume they were probably going out to Skytree or Sensoji or somewhere like that. Well, it was pretty crowded. I was lucky enough to get a seat, but the more people that started coming on, right, it was starting to get a little bit more crowded. Somebody next to me left or got off at a stop, and they immediately called the youngest boy in their group to let him sit down, and one of the members of the family said, "Dad," to who I assume was this boy's grandfather and one of the other person's dad, "Dad, do you want to sit down, or, you know, we can switch?" And he was like, "No, no, no, that's okay." So I said, "Excuse me, would you like to sit down?" And the man was like, "Oh, no, no, no." The one in front of me said, "Oh, no, 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 arigato, arigato," which I thought was really cute because automatically they assumed I was a Japanese person that was offering my seat. Now, granted, I am pretty sure I was older than the other person anyways, but I thought I'd offer. Then they were talking, and they kept checking on their dad. "Dad, you know, like, let's look for a seat." And so I just once again interrupted, and I said, "You know, I'm getting off at the next stop, so please, please take my seat." And so then they kind of looked, and then I thought, okay, if we're going to have conversation, I need to make the conversation. So I said something like, "Are you here traveling?" And they said, you know, "Yes, we're from the U.S." And I said, "Oh." And I said, "I am too." And they said, "Oh, are you traveling?" And I said, "No, actually, I live here." Then they asked me where in the U.S. was I from, and I said, "Los Angeles." And I said, "How about yourselves?" And they said, "Seattle." But the young girl said, "Oh, but I go to university in San Diego, so I've passed through Los Angeles." And then she said a comment, "Oh, I really like your bag charm," which was my pom-pom pudding. I don't know if you can see. If I bring it out, this will probably fall because I just have the camera on top of my purse. And I said, "Oh, thanks." And she goes, "Oh, I love everything Sanrio." And I said, "How's your trip going so far?" to everyone. And they're like, "Oh, it's wonderful." Like, just really personable. And they said, "Oh, what do you do here?" And I said, "Well, actually, I'm retired, but I was an elementary school teacher I said something like, I'm a retired teacher, but I was teaching elementary school here in Japan." And so, you know what they said to me? They said, "Bless your heart." And they said, "Teachers do so much." They were all like, she's a teacher, yeah, bless you. Oh, you know, we really applaud all of you teachers." And they didn't have to say that. Like, they didn't have to acknowledge my profession with the kind words that they did. They could have just thought in their head, "Oh, she's an English teacher. Oh, she teaches. Anyone can teach," or whatever. But they were so kind. And I was getting off at the next stop, so like they had asked some other questions just in passing, and the crowd came, and so I was like, "Okay, make sure you get my seat." So we kind of maneuvered, and I said, "Have a wonderful rest of your trip and enjoy your day today." And they said the same thing to me. That quick little, 3 or 5 minute exchange was all it took to make me feel fabulous for the day. And sometimes that's all it takes from us, to tell somebody else something kind or something supportive, or do something like offer a seat or a smile, or just words to say hi. So yeah, so that was my day. And I did have a great day. Didn't have that great of a lunch. I probably shouldn't have ordered what I ordered because I had no idea what it was, and I should have paid more attention. I thought I was going to be getting curry, but it was actually this rice dish, and it was so freaking spicy. I just couldn't finish it, and I felt really bad, especially the way I exited, because I didn't want them to say anything. I didn't want it to be noticeable, but it was just way too spicy, and it didn't look spicy. And it was a vegetable dish, but I couldn't finish it. I needed something to cool down. I popped into, of all cafes, a Nissan cafe, and had a really good Nissan melon latte. that was really good with the whole Nissan art. I thought it was going to be all hand done, but I think it was actually just some sort of transfer that they put on the foam. The place where I had lunch also turned out to be the place that was my destination. I had gotten lost trying to find it, and boom, lo and behold, there I was in the building where the toy shop was. So let's go home. I'm debating whether or not I want to stop and get something. There's that ice cream I like, but I just haven't found the Family Mart that has it. So I think I'll stop at a Family Mart and then go home. All right, catch you at home. Thank you so much for watching. In my next video, I plan to do a haul of the things that I bought at that toy store, and you can watch me unbox some more Smiskis and Labubu figurines. Wait till you see what I got. Please be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.